Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of our Ruger American 22 Creedmoor review. Yesterday I took the action out of the stock. I just wanted to double check, make sure everything was good. I put the action back in stock. I retorqued them. They say somewhere between 65 and 80 pounds. I think I torqued them like 72. Then I went through and I made sure that our rail was clean, sitting tight on the action. I retorqued that as well. And then I grabbed my Athlon Argos BTR Gen 2 6 to 24 by 50 and I got that mounted on here. I really like the scope. Actually, I got another one of these coming currently. Then I went through, just for me, I put the Dead Air Omni adapter on. And then this is my Dead Air Lazarus 6 off my 6 arc. I don't have a 22 cal specific can here currently, so this is the one that we have on here. There's a couple things that I've noticed kind of on the break-in. I'll address that right now before we go to the range and see how it goes on paper. So the first thing is the trigger on this thing is a little bit to be desired. For a $600 gun, it's not bad, but I believe the Timney trigger is $160-ish. It's a worthwhile investment in my eyes. It's not a horrible trigger. Again, for a $600 gun, it's doable, but I think long term, this one is obviously going to get a trigger, but I believe if you buy one of these, I would look at getting the Timney trigger and putting it in right away. There's just kind of a lot of creep. It's a little bit grainy, especially when you're trying to set something up for something like thermal, where accuracy is very important, just because there's not as much information when you're looking through the scope as far as topography and things like that. You can see some of it, but your depth perception isn't quite as good. So if you pull the shot a little bit, it's a little bit hard to tell through a thermal versus just shooting on paper. The next thing I'm going to say is something that I kind of found that I'm kind of tore on. We were shooting with a chronograph yesterday. My velocities are quite a bit lower than kind of I was expecting. And I really didn't have an answer for it. This is supposed to be a 22-inch barrel. We looked up velocities versus a 24-inch barrel, and I figured on the bad side of things would say 50 feet per second on factory ammo. Would be 50 feet per second an inch. Well, I was almost 200 feet per second off. Kind of through the break-in, the speed stayed the same. Ultimately, the only thing I found is this rifle really only has, by the time you take the chamber out, like 20 inches of effective rifling. I think a lot of it, when they say it's a 22-inch barrel, they're including the flash hider on there. That's the only way I could get 22 inches is if I measured from the nut face here to the end of where the flash hider was. That's 22 inches. So I think that's part of the issue. Again, looking through the barrel and everything, I don't see anything that's out of place. The bore diameter is correct. So that's the only thing I can think of. And I know on the 22 Creedmoor, there's not a whole lot of drop, say from 26 to 24. There's not a whole lot from 24 to 22, but the big drop is, say, from 24 to 21. Was the bulk of the drop, before you get into the shorter 18, 16-inch length barrels. So that being said, if you're looking for that 3,000 feet per second, shooting factory ammo, this gun isn't going to do that. We were with the ELDXs, I believe we were 3114. In the box advertises 3285. With the ELDMs, again, the box is saying 3285. We were right around 3070 with these as well. We also shot some 1776 69 grain Blitz Kings through this, and some Ally Ammunition 62 grain VTs through this. Just across the board, compared to the 24-inch custom build that we kind of been working with, this gun is 200 feet per second on all of it, slower. So that being said, I think on break-in, the accuracy was okay. It's not quite where I want it yet, but kind of looking at the velocity situation, I believe that we're just gonna have to load for this gun until something new comes out. I did see yesterday that we have some 69 VTs coming. We did get a box or two of those on order, so we could try those out with this rifle when they get in, just to kind of keep looking at factory rifle versus factory ammunition to kind of see what the general public end user is going to get out of this rifle. So that being said, I'm going to go put a new target up on the range. I'm going to get the GoPro set up down there, and I'll show you guys kind of how it's grouping this morning, and we'll go from there. So let's go over this morning's accuracy testing. I shot 3 different loads. First, before I did anything, I shot 3 cider shots just to make sure everything was still good. I didn't have any rounds through this barrel since cleaning it last night after break-in. The first 3 shots were pretty good. They were just sub an inch. I let the barrel cool for 5 minutes and I shot 3 ELDX. They were 0.728. I let the barrel sit for 5 minutes and I shot 3 of the ELDMs. They were a 0.695. And then again, I let the barrel sit for 5 minutes and I shot 3 of the 62 Ally munitions, and they were a 1.192. In my experience, the 62 VTs are really touchy. I'm sure there's rifles that those shoot really well in. It just doesn't happen to be this one. The ELDMs and the ELDXs shot fairly well out of this thing. Again, I'm looking for a little bit more. I believe with the ELDMs, if you just put a trigger in this, you'd probably be at that half MOA at 100. The only issue that I've had, and I forgot to mention this earlier, is during break-in, the factory ELDXs seem a little bit hot in this rifle. I can see the ejector pin mark, and about 8 or 9 shots in, it actually stuck the ejector pin. There was a little shaving of brass. I got down beside it and it actually stuck it, and I had to lube it and kind of get this ejector pin moved around so I could get this functioning again. Other than that, the functionality of this has been really good. And again, those things seem rather hot in this rifle. So I'm not going to say that it's a rifle issue. Just for some odd reason, that factory ammo is a little on the higher pressure side. I don't think it's dangerous high pressure, it's just right on the high pressure side. But all in all, for a $600 22 Creedmoor, if you were going to daytime coyote hunt with this, thermal coyote hunt with this, or if you just wanted one for plinking, I think it's a worthwhile investment. You know, the 22 Creedmoor is known for being a little bit shorter barrel life. So let's just say it's a 1200 round gun for $600 bucks. That's not that bad. You know, if the barrel did get shot out, these are rebarrelable. You could put another barrel on this, or for $600, you just go get another one. The average person, 1200 rounds, probably gonna take a while. So my final thoughts on it: would I buy another one? Absolutely. I do think, like I said, I put a trigger in this, I might get down to half MOA. If I put it in a chassis, I might gain a little bit as well. And again, my shooting situation here, it's not in a lead sled. It's shot off my shoulder. I am shooting towards the east, and the sun is coming up this morning, so there may be a little bit of sun dotting going on the scope. It wasn't too bad. So yeah, like I said, I think in the right hands, the right situation, it's a half MOA gun all day. Especially with the factory LDMs, they seem to shoot really well out of this and that custom build that I've been around lately. So if you guys are looking for a 22 Creedmoor, be on the lookout for these. I think they're going to start rolling out pretty good. It sounds like there's a few places that have them advertised, don't have them in stock yet. So we'll catch you guys on the next video. I got some cool stuff coming up. Go ahead, like and subscribe so that way you're notified every time we release a video. We'll catch you on the next one.